Hey everyone, welcome to Merge Elves. Today my camp looks a little bit crazy, a little bit messy. I am working on building up my elf houses, and I started the process. I've done it a couple of times now. I think this is going to be my last time going through the process, so I just wanted to share it. So if any of you are thinking about building up your elf houses, you'll be able to see what it looks like and how it works and sort of one way to do it. So one thing that you're going to notice as you build more and more in your camp is that the cost of buildings go up depending on what you have on your map. So right now I have 4 level 6, 2 level 5, 2 level 4, 3 level 3, and then a 1 and a couple of, 1, 2, and a couple of 1s. So with that on my map, the cost of buying an elf tree dwelling, which is the level 2, is over 18,000 stone. Yikes. And if I wanted to buy the smaller one, it's 2,450. Still pretty high, especially considering I think my stone storage total is around 17,000. Sorry, not 17,000, 1,700. So it's really not that much. And if I had to spend that much stone building these dwellings, I would not be able to. So the way to get that price down is actually to bubble up all of your elf houses. So if you're using this to do gem vaults, then you would bubble up all of your gem storage. Or if you were doing stone storage, you would bubble all your stone storage. The stone storage is a little bit of a fun trick because you need to bubble up your stone storage, which reduces how much stone you can have, but then you need to use stone to buy your new stone storage. So that one is more involved. It takes longer, which is why I haven't done it. I've been a little bit lazy about it. So I will be doing stone storage before too long. But for right now, I want to work on my elf houses. And the reason I want to work on my elf houses is because I keep running into the situation where all of my elves are sleeping. And there are two solutions to that. One is get more elves, which I'm working on. And 2 is get better elf houses so they rest faster. So since getting better elf houses is something I can actively do right now, that's what I've been working on. So the way to bubble these up is using the 2x2 bubbling technique. I have a bunch of these giant golden fruit that I've been saving up to help me fill up my map. But because they're a 2x2 item, when my map is completely full, if I pretend I'm going to bubble this, the elves think they have space to set stuff down. So you need to have your elves holding something. You need to have all of the spaces in your camp filled up. And you need to have at least 3 2x2 items that you can pretend you're going to merge. So right now I'm just holding this giant golden fruit over the others so the elves think I'm going to merge it, and you can see how they set down 3 items in that spot. They also filled in 1 other spot someplace else on my map. I just need to make absolute sure nobody is setting anything new down, and now I set this giant fruit that I've been holding on top of the items I want to bubble. So when you look at the golden fruit, it's that 2x2 shape. The 2 squares on the right hand side are what's going to go into a bubble. So I'm just going to set this so those two squares are on top of those elf houses, and then drop it. So what happens is those two elf houses go into a bubble, or go into bubbles. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Grab that guy. And all of the elves inside those elf houses pop out. Why does that matter? Or does that matter? And in my opinion, it does matter. And here is why. If you do this and you bubble absolutely all of your elf houses, your sleeping elves or tired elves won't have any place to go to rest. So they're going to be sitting out on the map and floating around and sort of being in the way. Right now, I don't have so many elves that would make it so I can't see my map, but they would definitely end up getting in the way. There we go. Yeah, they would definitely end up getting in the way. So I want to leave my elves a space that they can go to rest. And because that's something I like to do, I always have one level 1 house. It's hard to grab the board with it all filled up like this. Right up there. Let me go like that. There we go. Right up here, kind of hidden amongst my trees, I have this one level 1 house. So it's not going to affect the prices of my buildings very much. But it's going to give a place for my sleeping elves to go once as I'm slowly kicking the poor things out of their little elf houses. So we're going to keep doing this until all of my elf houses, except for that one that I have hidden back in the woods, are bubbled up. Right like that. Very nice. Wait till they clear out a little bit. And once all of these houses are bubbled up, the cost for my elf houses are going to be very drastically reduced. I always love seeing the change in price using this method. I just think it's sort of neat. Alright, move those bubbles out of the way and slide these back. Grab one of these. Oh, actually, the fact that I don't have any elves hovering right there makes me think I don't have enough elves holding things. So I'm going to have a few elves come and harvest these grasses. That way they will be holding things. If you don't have elves who are holding things, it will take a very long time to wait for them to come and fill in those empty spaces to let you bubble. Excuse me. There we go. So it just works out easier if you tell your elves to hold things. Then you'll have a bunch of them waiting to come and fill in those newly emptied places. Alright. Bubbling these next two. Slide that back. Bubbling those. I'm just going to move that one over there. And then I'll grab this one. Alright, so this should be my last elf house to bubble. Awesome. So once you have all of your elf houses bubbled, the next stage is to clear as much space as possible on your map. So when you buy new elf houses for them to build, you'll get a whole bunch. So I'm going to bubble up these giant golden fruit, put them in my little golden fruit pile. Here we go. And I'll drop that lithop back on the ground. And since these are 2x2, they're super easy to bubble. All you have to do is set anything on top of them as long as they don't have anywhere else to move to that's a 2x2 space. So for example, if I picked that up and went like that, the giant fruit could move over to that new 2x2 space that's open. So as you're doing this process, you just want to make sure you are trapping the fruit so it has nowhere to go. And one more. Okay, I think that's all of my giant golden fruit. Yes, it is. So now I start the process of clearing out as much of the space in my camp as I can. So this is where we, harvest things down, merge things up, get everything squished in the way we want it. And depending on the size of your camp, this process can take longer or shorter, but it's one of the reasons I like to save up those giant golden fruit, because the more of those you have and can use to fill in your camp when you're bubbling, the less cleanup you have to do for this part. So it makes the whole process go faster because you can get on to buying items more quickly. The other advantage is this cleanup process uses up your elf stamina as you have them harvest things for you. So with that, you're going to need elf stamina to build your new buildings. So if you use up most of your elf stamina in this part of the process, it's going to make building the buildings take longer. And when you're newer to the game and you don't have a ton of elves or a ton of rested elves, then that's just part of the game, is knowing that you're going to have to take it a little bit on the slower side, and it will get easier and easier to do this process the more you play and the more resources you get. Let's see, so I'm not bothering with 5 merges here. I really just want to condense that. I'm not working on my berries right now. I just want to get them out of the way. Very nice. And if I wanted to save even more elf stamina, I could just merge these piles of small stones. But at the same time as I'm doing all of this other stuff, I'm also working on my stone wonder and trying to get my first stone wonder. So I don't want to waste these by having them, by merging them. I would much rather use the stamina to harvest them and get as many stones as possible, working towards my wonder. I can go like that, I can go like that. Very nice. Alright, keep these condensing down. Let's see, as far as my stone resource, I don't mind making some 3 merges here just to have it take up less space. There we go. Sell that. And as part of filling up my camp, I did get my lithops. I watched my ads for my daily lithops, so I've got those all over the place. I'm going to have my elves harvest those because I don't want to waste those seeds. But the lithops are another thing. Depending on what you're working on, you might feel comfortable just merging them. And it will still give you some items, you just won't necessarily get as many. All right. Gonna be a 5 merge right there, 5 merge right there. So yeah, if I hadn't left that one elf house out, I would be trying to do all of this with my map completely covered in elves and I would not be able to see very much. So I always strongly recommend leaving that one house there. All right. Let's put that right there. Condense this down. Condense that down. For the moment, I don't want my fruit trees making any new flowers, just because that will take up more space. So I'm gonna cinch that in nice and close. Almost done with the cleanup. Just have a couple more lithops that need to be harvested away. And then I'll take a look around for anything else that I'm willing to merge down. So I'm not working on my hills right now, so I don't mind doing 3 merges with those. Bring this down here. Sell those dimensional jars. Slide that over, slide that over. Right, just a little bit more. Alright. I can tap those to get a merge in right there. Let's see, these are my Sakura tree seeds. Definitely not willing to do a 3 merge on those, but I am willing to do a 3 merge on the fruit tree seeds. Once again, it's a situation where I'm working on my fruit trees in that people are always working on their fruit trees until they have the highest level, but not too worried about it. Let's see, I am going to do a couple merges with these chests just to get those out of the way. I don't necessarily want to open them yet. Let's see, all of that looks good. This looks good. Merge that down. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. That's going to help with condensing. Oh, no, it didn't. I was one level off in where I was thinking. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We have quite a bit of space. You want to make sure you pick up a bunch of stone. Just a bunch. No specific amount. You just want to have enough. So now, when I go in and I take a look at my stone houses, now this stone dwelling only costs 7 stone. The level 2 costs 80 stone. So this is where you have to think about the amount of stamina you have versus how much stone you have. So it will take less stamina to build more of the level 2. But if you want to think about how much stone you have, in order to build 1 level 2, it only takes 3 level 1. So you're comparing 21 stone to 80 stone to build the same thing. And the cost gets even less if you really focus on doing 5 merges. So I would rather use the stamina and be patient if I have to with sleeping elves in order to get more buildings. So I'm just going to buy all of these stone dwellings instead of the tree dwellings. But depending on, what you have going on, you might make a different choice. So now we just buy as many stone dwellings as will fit on our map, which are quite a few. Merge Elves has an interesting glitch that I have discovered, and I'm going to show this glitch to you and show you how to fix it. Because for a little while it had me kind of frustrated, and then I figured out. So eventually you'll get to the point where your map is completely full, and when you try to buy another one, it won't let you. You X out of it, and the goal now is for your elves to build all of these buildings. But let's say you exit out of it and you're like, oh, I can make some merges and get some more space. So for example, up here with my fruit trees. And now I want to go back in and buy some more. It doesn't let you do that. It's still registering that the map is full. So the way to fix this, if you ever run into this, you can go out to the world map real quick and then just hop straight back into your camp, and it will register the fact that, oh, there's open space. Then you'll be able to go back into that shop menu, slide over there, and buy some more. So if that ever happens to you, that's how to fix it. Just hop out to the map and then come back in. And now we get to spend a whole bunch of time telling our elves to build stuff. So if you don't tell them to build, some of them will build anyway, but some of them are going to go off and harvest things. And I've discovered that they tend to harvest things that I don't really want them to harvest because I don't need them. Yeah. So I like to, this is a part where I am very active in making sure that my elves are doing what they need to. Another thing that you can do during this process, if you tap on your elf house where you have elves resting, if they're all the way rested, they will pop out and help you do stuff. So just tap on that. Now, if I don't tell them what to do for a few minutes, they're just going to float away and go back into the house. So you want to, tap on your elf house, get some elves out there, and then immediately start tapping on things so they know what you want them to do. And that will make this process go faster. Oh, it's saying no more elves. If you just wait a couple seconds, as soon as some are finished building, you'll have more elves. There we go. So yeah, this process goes pretty quickly. Unless, like I said earlier, if you keep running out of elves during this process, because you don't have very many, it is going to make it take longer. And the first time I did this, I actually had to come back into the game a couple of times. So I used up all of my stamina and put the game down to let my elves rest for a couple of hours, and then came back and was able to, build some more, and then had to do it again until I had built everything. And these, whenever you see smoke rising from an elf house, it means there are elves in that house who are fully rested. They're just hanging out waiting for their turn to pop out and do stuff. So you can always tap on those to get more elves to help you. There we go. Get him over there. All right. So this is going quite well. See how many I have. Oh, I've got a bunch up there that can come down and help. The only thing you want to be careful of as you start getting more and more elf houses, your elves are going to go into any random house to rest, and you'll get these little sleeping bars. And if you have some golden leaves and you accidentally tap on that sleeping bar, it will spend your golden leaves to wake up your elves. Which in my opinion, there's never a reason to do that. That's not a good use of golden leaves for me. Like, everybody has different feelings and different play styles, but I would rather just be patient and save my leaves for more important things. But if you're not careful, I have accidentally spent leaves to wake up elves before. So that's where you might want to, zoom in a little bit more to make sure you don't accidentally tap on the wrong thing. Anyone else up here? Oh yeah, I've got a whole bunch of sleeping elves who could come out and do things. There we go. Right there, right there, right there. Oops. All right. You have one right there and right there. I think most of these elf houses are being built. Oh, there's one. Okay, I'm over to that one. And I have one more tucked in between right here. Oh, yeah, I don't want to accidentally wake anybody up. There we go. That'll move it over so I can actually tap on it. Okay, do another quick scan. We do have one right there that needs to be built. All right, and I think that brings me to a place where they are all built. And the next stage of this is to go through and make 5 merges very carefully. You do not want to accidentally merge all of these houses together. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording, do my 5 merges, and then I will start it back up. Alright, so I've condensed everything down that was on the board. And yeah, we got quite a bit. So I got 2 more level 5, 3 level 4, 4 level 3, 4 level 2, and 3 level 1. So what I want to do now is unbubble the houses that I bubbled up. And then I'm going to combine everything together and see what I end up with. And I think for today, this is going to be my last time doing this. So whatever houses I have, I'm just going to leave out. So I've got 4 of those still. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. And of course, every time I combine houses, all of the elves are going to pop out and have to find new homes. Which actually works out well because hopefully some of them will be going into the homes that rest them faster. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just gotta wait for them to clear out. So my goal with this is not necessarily to have the highest level house possible. It's actually going to be to have a larger number of sort of middle level houses. So for example, I could merge the conch dwellings, and then that would let me merge the flower dwellings into a level 7, but then I would only have 2 level 7, which means fewer elves would be resting at a time. So I would rather hang on to those extra houses for now and wait until I can get the higher level. Let me see. I can do 1. Do I mind doing a 3 merge? I kind of do mind doing a 3 merge. So I'm just going to hold on to what I have here. So what I have right here is what I'm going to disperse across my board. I'm probably going to rearrange this section over here to accommodate my houses because I kind of like how the trees look without the houses all behind them. Or I might put them on this side. I'm trying to make it so my open space is more condensed. So if I put it on this side, it would push everything out into this area, and then all my free space would be right over here. Go ahead and make that merge. Ooh, that was a good merge. I will definitely take that. Awesome. So yeah, that's sort of where I am right now, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So hopefully seeing this process helped if you weren't sure about a really good way to build up your elf houses. And building your elf houses is always helpful because it's going to rest your elves so much faster. These big houses here rest elves in only 9 minutes compared to the level 1, which takes, what is that, 23 minutes? So yeah, it really will affect your elf economy the more you build up your elf houses. But as I said, you want to make sure you have multiple of those higher level houses because then you'll be resting more elves at one time. So, as I was saying, feel pretty good with this. I think I'm going to arrange these houses into my layout in some way. And the next time you see my camp, it's probably going to look a little bit different because of the rearranging. But I'm quite excited about that. So, good luck. If you have any questions or just want to share thoughts about this, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. If you found this helpful, like, definitely subscribe if you want. I tend to put out at least one video a week, but it also depends on my work schedule. But this coming up week, I'm on vacation, so I have a few videos that I'm looking forward to putting together and putting out there. So I hope everyone has a great holiday if you are celebrating a winter holiday coming up, and happy merging!